Welcome to Round Robin. Normally I'm your host, Robin McCormick, but we're going to turn this episode over to some young folks. Hampton Hot Spot highlights some of our young performers, singers, spoken word artists, and Giovanni Cruz and Jeray Bolton are going to introduce you to one today. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Giovanni Cruz.
And I'm Jeray Bolton.
Welcome to the Hampton Hot Spot,
the place to find out who's hot in Hampton.
Our next guest is Dreason Ruckett, a wonderful author, a wonderful poet, and the wonderful host at the Hampton Music and Poetry Night. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you all doing?
So why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about what inspires your poetry?
Well, I think my poetry has just been inspired by life in general. You know, I like to depict my poetry through the eyes of others, by either through my influences and my experiences or by watching others.
So if you had to pick a special moment where you really realized that this is what you like to do, what would that moment be?
I think it would be my senior year in high school when I was in drama class and our teacher was asking for us to come up with something for Black History Month, and I sat there and ignored him and wrote a poem while he was talking, and then I stood up and said the poem out loud, and of course I got kicked out of the classroom, but it made everybody smile and laugh. And I got to perform my piece during the Black History Month, and I kept writing from there. So.
Well, without further ado, here's Dreason Ruckett.
Get it, buddy.
For the blinders are not lifted, and they keep us from seeing light. No more welfare, please. Penthouse me. Place my family in the places that we see on TV when the lavish are relaxing. See, we're tired of feeling left out. Watching you moguls campaign and complain about what's going to be done when Social Security runs out. Why gas prices scream so loud when taxation season comes to town. Wondering how you cajole our minds to vote you in this time. Believing that we would be the recipients of justice this time. My God, why are we so blind? Is it that we chose to walk in darkness in this great life? Did we not heed to your call to righteousness and instead chose society's lead for the light? One might even assume that they had no clue in this masquerade affair. If we think back to life when praising God was right and news was just the outward expression of life and the fact that it displayed reality, then maybe right now we'd all be headed to a safer place. There has been no corrupt creation. Everything is here that was here until man decided its own manifestations, until man began to accumulate the wealth from the dissipating hope of the forefathers' generation, until we all begin to believe that the best way to live was through segregated communities. Yeah, they taught us how to be closed-minded and unfruitful in this journey. Let's let them label us black, white, Asian, and Mexican. Many of us dream of going to Harlem but don't even understand the legacy behind the name. Most folk claim to be sinless yet possess some of the most defaming characteristics in the game, yet we let the blind tell it all. Sell our intelligence loosely in the streets of City Hall. Let's let them take what we're made of and manipulate it into a come one, come all. Everyone is welcome. No shoes, no shirt, no service. No need for these things if man had not first been corrupted. Again, the blindness must be lifted. Warm up your mind to inherit greatness, but first, lose the trends. Tradition speaks that woman should be with man and man should be with woman, but many fail to understand the simplistic behind the ordeal. Love. That's what was lacked in the beginning, so know now why some of them feel the way they feel. Learn to love for what love is and not what you want to call it, because it's still love. There's no loops around it, no ins and outs. It's just what it claims to be: unconditional, relentless, full force, without doubt or reason. Even I ask the blindness to please be removed from Dreason. Even I have hated myself for you when I was not right in the head, or at least right where you wanted me to be headed. Oftentimes seeming wrong for my personality, feeling like I had to add a little of you to complete me, falsely assuming that you were what I needed. Realizing though that through you I would be able to succeed at any and everything I put my mind to. It's about that time for you to stop letting people tell you what you can't do and take those times and reproof those projects that you originally set out to do before your shutters were closed, before you let the mark of man shut your open doors, before you got carried away in a storm of popularity. clarity. Look, even Christ walked with the crowd and still held his head in humble submission of a greater authority. Please remove the blinders. We want to walk free and think like we should above and over all of the lesser creations. Stop believing that you were predestined for destruction when you were called the greatest creation. Please remove the blinders. Superficial gains have been lost in the shuffle. No more trying to be superior by being seen with the firearm in the scuffle. Apologize to that woman or man. It takes a big one to admit the fault, and recipients of them listen. Your turn will be reversed unless you abort the walk. Talk back to your young ones. Tell them who they are. That way the street lights won't catch them with their hind part showing in the dark. It's about that time for the blinders to be lifted. Father, please tell these people what work you've put into the redemptive. We're ready to learn and unlearn what wrongs were taught. Sunday schools knew enough but failed to teach us what was wrought. The media trains children now, and souls are being bought online. Parents are running away from responsibility and are truly lost in the bind. Please remove the blinders from my minds. Please remove the blinders from my minds. Please remove the blinders from our minds.